Now I'm your favorite rock boy, black boy, school of hard knock boy, 360 degree, man I'm such a hot boy, D-boy, B-boy, you're 313 boy, no decoy, soldier of fortune, I seek and destroy, deploy, street noise that move your feet boy, nobody iller than boy, from Hanoi to Illinois, endless noise, power to pump up through your bins boys, the envoy, I keep this moving like this a convoy.
See I'm the truth, it's apparent and I flare. I dare you to stare because I've set my truck there again.
What is up, everybody? How are we doing today? Welcome to the Nacho Avg podcast, our premiere episode with me, Nacho. I can't thank you guys enough. For those who are here joining me, it means so much to me. This is how I am celebrating my Cinco de Mayo. Piper, is my mic on? Let me ask that first because we don't want to run into any red issues. Is my mic on? Is my mic on? Is it? Well, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and assume it is because I haven't heard anybody write any comments saying that it's not. So here I am. I'm back with a vengeance. Thank you so much to, The Red Rich. For giving me the opportunity to be on the Oddcast and kind of giving me the boot to finally get off my tush and do this. So thank you. Appreciate it, Pipes. I'm glad I sound good. I made sure my mic was on, made sure it was connected. Funny story, I almost forgot the headset, so I would have been screwed there. But so we are here. Thank you, Maddie. That is actually a local band that's from here in Metro Detroit named Critical Bill. I've been listening to them for years, and that song's been with me. And I was like, "That's it." That intro, those first set of lyrics, I think just perfectly described me and my aspect and being from Detroit. And I reached out. I was like, "Listen, I want to use your song as part of my podcast. What's the cost?" They shot me a number. It was worth it. And we're here. So again, thank you for everybody for joining us or joining me. I keep saying us, but I know I'm big enough for two people. But happy Cinco de Mayo to everybody. Thank you for being here. And as always, I am DTF today. I am down to fiesta, just like on a normal Cinco de Mayo. So I hope everybody's doing well. I am doing great. Let's get on to the news. So first and foremost, for those who don't know or understand, we lost an American legend today. And for those who don't understand who I might be talking about, if I mention the name Johnny Depp or Penelope Cruz, say starring in a movie together, what's the first movie that comes to mind? What do we got going? It's not Pirates of the Caribbean. It's not, maybe 21 Jump Street, but that's an old 80s television show. It's not any of the Harry Potter saga movies. I don't even know the names of them because Harry Potter is just terrible. Yeah, I said it, Pipes. Harry Potter is terrible. That is right, Vella. Below. Mr. George Young, the man who inspired the book and the movie Below, has officially passed away as of today. Passed away at the age of 78 years old. We do know that it was back in the Medellin cartel era when he was helping Pablo Escobar smuggle plane loads of Colombian Bam Bam to the States. So on average, we know Escobar was responsible for 80% of the world's cocaine. And about 15 tons of blow reportedly came to the U.S. every day for a weekly haul of $420 million. We do know it was made famous by the movie Blow, but the original was written into a book, Blow, How a Small Town Boy Made $100 Million with the Medellin Cocaine Cartel and Lost It All. Unfortunately, Mr. Young passed away early this morning They're not still unsure of exactly what the cause of death was, but he was currently at home in hospice, experiencing liver and kidney failure. His Twitter account this morning was tweeted saying, "May the wind always be at your back and the sun upon your face, and the winds of destiny carry you aloft to dance with the stars. 1942 to 2021." That, unfortunately, was how the man went out after making a giant impact, unfortunately, on something that would be considered probably catastrophic in America. I'm trying. Give me a break here. But yes, so unfortunately, we did lose an American legend. He may not be legend for a positive thing, but we do know that he actually had 2 stints in jail. One was for the main charges that he was brought up on, and he actually violated his parole afterwards because he didn't contact his parole officer to go take a vacation in San Diego. So, yeah, I have absolutely no clue why his organs would be failing like the way that they were. So, but I'm sure based upon the depictions that were in that movie, he lived a very, very exciting life for quite a little bit there. So, the funny part is I can't remember the last time I've actually seen the movie Below. So, it'll have to be on my to watch list probably this weekend when I start doing grades again. Doing grades and doing Below. What a mix up. So, with that in mind, it's a short little homage to an American legend, as I said. But one of the meat and potato stories that I really, really wanted to get to today was something that kind of hits close to home with me being a father. And so I made mention in my promo earlier that how exercising could be deadly. Well, yeah, it could be deadly because the idea of exercising is pushing your body to a limit of almost dying to make yourself healthy. Myself, I'm doing much better. In the last month and a half, I've lost about 15 pounds on my new diet. So a little pat on my back for myself. I'm not all twisted steel and sex appeal, but I'm trying. I'm trying real hard, and it's going slowly but surely. But so there's a situation, and I know a lot of people have a lot of things going on that where they want to lose weight. And for a while there was a big depiction of thank you, Gorilla. Thank you, everybody, for the kudos. Of the top gift to give your significant other on an anniversary, for Christmas, or anything like that, was a specific type of exercise machinery. Well, they've expanded. This company, which I know we're all going to, when I say the name, you guys are going to know exactly what I'm talking about, that Peloton, we're known for their Peloton bicycles, right? Well, they've expanded to treadmills. And I myself have even considered getting one of these treadmills. But I will tell you now, it will never happen. For 2 reasons now, specifically. The main reason now being, now that I'm going to go and share this with you guys, as all of these treadmills are officially being recalled. They are officially being recalled. Oh, of course, it's going to make me look stupid because it didn't load properly. I'm going to expand this real quick. Let me bring it back up for you. If my mouse wants to operate. Long story short, they are officially being recalled over safety concerns. As I bring this information up so you can see the title page. They any customers that have purchased the Tread Plus and Tread machines are instructed to stop using the equipment immediately and contact the company for a full, no questions asked refund. And they unfortunately, they are the only reason they're doing this is after a child has died due to an incident that took place while the it wasn't being used by an adult, but the children possibly playing on it. There has been a total of 29 injuries and 1 child death over these recall concerns. The U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission announced that there was a voluntary recall starting today, and that the company's CEO, John Foley, apologized for not cooperating with the CPSC sooner. Well, yeah, duh. You need to apologize because a child lost its life due to your guys' failed design. One of the things I want to show you, there is actually a video that is attached to one of the previous articles that I found in regards to this situation. Now, I'm going to tell you guys, this is not for the faint of heart. If you have an issue with possible injury or seeing a child getting hurt, you may want to turn away, but I'm going to show you. This is the video that has been provided of an instance of when a child was playing and things went wrong. Go and get it loaded here. Because it being 18 plus, it has to go right to YouTube, but we'll go ahead and watch it there. I understand. My life is inappropriate. Simple enough, 2 children playing. And as you can see, this little boy down here at the bottom is playing with the bouncy ball. And it grabbed him. Simple as that. And as we can see, that is just completely devastating to see. Sorry about that. All of a sudden, I started getting random audio on my headphones. No video. No video. Of course, there's no video. Anyways. Well, here's the deal, Rich. I see your comment up here. And unfortunately, I guess I wasn't able to show the video. But we know, let's be honest, you can't keep your eyes on your kids 100% of the time. I know we try. I know we do our best. But do you guys see me now? Do you guys see me? Or is there still no video? You know what? I'm going to go with Rick. It's probably yours an error. I probably should have downloaded the video, but I wasn't sure if they were going to flag the podcast or not. But hey, it happens. It's okay. You know what? This is like I mentioned this earlier in one of my lives. This is going to be like my first time with somebody. I'm going to have to learn the ins and outs. I'm going to have to be gentle at first. I'm going to have to, learn where to touch, learn where not to touch, learn what to load, learn what not to load. Stuff like that. Well, I guess I'll end up figuring out a new way to put videos on from here on out. But it's okay. No big deal. A little lube. Yeah, you know what? And guess what? When you run out of lube, sometimes you just got to spin on it and just go to town. Get it in there. I mean, well, not all the time. Not all the time. So, but yeah, so there's a lie that as if it's your first time with somebody, you would have been done 13 minutes ago. I told you that in confidence. I told you that in confidence. And you just told everybody. Yeah, Pipes. It's like, Jesus Christ, as I'm reading that. So, unfortunately, if you guys have a chance, go to TMZ. Check this. I'll put the link out. It was as of the 22nd of April. And long story short, there is a young boy. He's sitting there. Sister's on the treadmill, walking backwards, playing back and forth. This young child, probably 2, maybe 3 most, is playing with a large pink bouncy ball. It's bouncing it. And the tread itself is it's almost like a tarmac. Like it's just moving, and it just grips the kid and the ball and basically rips him under the machine to a point that it's like smashing and almost ripping his face back. And he's able to escape for a hot second, and then it pulls him back under, all the way up under the machine, and then he's able to get out. If like I said, if it's for anybody who may be for the faint of heart, I wouldn't watch it. It took me, I was like 2-3 times when I was watching it. But at the same time, it kind of made me glad to see that they are recalling it. Unfortunately, you had to wait for a child's death in order to do that. Like, it's may not officially be on Peloton Pipes, but you got to understand, when there's so many occurrences that are all related amongst the same thing, there's got to be a complete overhaul and redesign. So, unfortunately, it does kind of fall on Peloton because you have to think outside the box. When these people are inventing things and making products, they have to expect the unexpected. What's going to happen if and this were to happen? What's going to happen if and this were going to happen? Even though it may never happen, I mean, well, they're recalling them, like I said, until November of 2022 for a full refund. So we know there's going to be people out there that still use this item, that they're still going to be trying to make the best of this situation. But then at the same time, they're going to wait to the last minute to turn it in. But at the same time, by them recalling and offering a full money back, no questions guarantee, they're relieving themselves of any further situations that may come from it. Prime example, there was a baby rock and play thing. And when my son was a baby, we used it all the time. We used it all the time. And it got recalled like right after we stopped using it. And it's not going anywhere. There are so many people that have continued to use that same product, but they will no longer sell it. And here's the thing. It wasn't even based upon anything that the company did. It was one of those situations where it was because the parents never locked their children in correctly. But guess what? The company still recalled that entire product. And because they didn't want anything else to come of it that could be on them. So in turn, it came to a point of, what do we do? Do we lose this much money now, or end up paying out the ass later because we're going to have lawsuits and such? It's one of those things where, Peloton has a ridiculous weight restriction on all their devices. It's lame. Why have a weight loss or workout machine with such a limited weight restriction? It's because they want your ass to be skinny before you get and use that shit. That's what it is. There ain't nothing built for fat people. That's what it is. I'll never own one, not because of the issue, because I never want to get on a treadmill. Well, neither do I. And hence the reason I'm going to start picking up more golf. I'm going to start walking the golf course and playing so that maybe I can get good and not just be completely terrible. It's happened to the Bumble things for babies. Parents were leaving them on tables unattended. And that's exactly. That's the unfortunate part, is the ignorance of people who didn't use the product as it was intended, that it ruined it for other people. And I agree with Rich. As much as we are parents, sometimes it does happen that, something, the kid's going to run away. Where'd my kid go? This, that, and the other, so on and so forth. The next, you come into the next room, the room's been torn apart and he's been gone for 30 seconds. That happens to me all the time. There's really nothing I can do about it. Yes, speaking your language. So, I got to get ready, bro. But that's what it comes down to, is that these people sit and they want to point the finger at somebody else. And unfortunately, Peloton is taking the L on this situation because of other people's ignorance and disregard for using the stuff appropriately and or accordingly. Do construction and get ripped. Right now Piper is currently remodeling a closet in her home. She's doing a great job from what I can see. She's laying down some tile. She's not laying any pipe. That she's leaving that to whoever else, maybe a plumber. But at the same time, she's doing a great job. She is the female version of Bob the Builder, Barbara the Builder. She's got her overalls on, going to work. See, look, even Maddie Blackstock's giving you some kudos. So keep up the good work, Pipes. But yeah, it's the same thing. It's like it's somebody's ignorance, but the problem is it's happened in such an abundance that Peloton's taking the L. So it's unfortunate. I never really cared to buy one. I'm always going to be fat. I'm going to be fluffy. I'm a big boy. I'm going to be a big boy the rest of my life. I can slim down, that's my goal, and I'll be happy. The goal is to slim down and keep it off, and not be as fluffy. So, anyways, that's that on that situation. Which brings me to my next point. And I know I'm kind of speeding through this stuff, but this next one really grinds my gears. And it's something we talked about on the podcast quite a bit. And it's not seeming to go anywhere for any reason. Excuse me. Had to wet my whistle there. Is this cancel culture bullshit? So, as we all know, we're in the middle of a pandemic. COVID-19 came and bent us all over, no spit, fucked us in the ass, and has just continued to relentlessly just go to pound town on us, causing things to close, causing small businesses to, lose, have to shut down completely, us being locked in our homes. Vela in Canada is currently still on lockdown. Like, it just seems like there is a never ending point to all this BS. And like, when is it going to stop? And then you got to compound it with all this other shit. And now, this whole cancel culture shit, it's ridiculous. I've had people come after me for trying to cancel me over stuff. And, it's probably going to happen with this podcast too. You know what? I'm going to welcome it. I say what I say. I own my shit. Patent pending. I kind of stole that from Pipes, but I do. I'm the type of person, if somebody tries to call me out on it, I'm always like, yeah, I said it, or yeah, I did it. X, Y, and Z. Like, that's what it comes down to. If you say it, you own it. If you don't, then you keep it moving. Like, it's one of those situations where, what do I got to hide? Why are you gonna? I dipped before I could be canceled. Listen here, motherfucker, you're coming on this show. So if I'm getting canceled, you're getting canceled with me. That'll be the episode that I get canceled on. All right, well, Pipes, if you got the rights to that saying, I just need the paperwork, and as I told the band, just name the price, and I'll, you know what? Here's the deal for your little closet. If you need a plumber, I'll send somebody to lay some pipe for you, and you'll get it done right. So, but one of the things I wanted to bring up. So one of the things that had to close but has now reopened since the pandemic has began Disneyland in California. That place was closed for over 400 days straight. 400 days straight. It finally just reopened this past Friday, April 30th, 2021. And if you guys haven't heard or noticed, but our poor Snow White is coming under fire. Not because she's living in a house with 7 single lads, but because they opened a brand new, revamped Snow White's Enchanted Wish ride here at Disneyland. It's been revamped. It replaced the old Snow White's Scary Adventures at Disneyland, which was really a really good attraction. The attraction preserves much of the charm of what it originally opened back in 1955. But it gives a more cohesive storyline that's true to the 1938 movie. It also adds the movie's biggest problem. But I'll get to that in a second. Like I said, they reopened after about 400 days. Wait times for the Enchanted Wish were consistently the highest of the park all day because people were so excited to see something new at the park's reopening. Right now, they are currently also revamping the Jungle Cruise, which is getting a remake, but it is still closed. The ride of one of Fantasyland's original attractions got a major upgrade with the audio-visual technology installed throughout, including LED black lighting, laser projections, new music, and new animation systems. The colors are punched up in a major way, and the new imagery is stunning, especially when the scenes where the 7 dwarfs are mining for gems. Those scenes are reminiscent of the 7 dwarfs mine train at Walt Disney World's Magic Kingdom, a thrill ride that also includes a similar glittery mine scene. But the best part of the remake throughout, Disney's Imagineers still retained some of what Snow White's Scary Adventures was so iconic, namely the scene where the evil queen is looking for her magic mirror. And turns out to reveal a terrifying old witch instead. I know you guys are still feeling a lot of suspense because we haven't got to the part of where she's under fire. But you know what? Here's the problem. All these things are changing. The scary part of Snow White's adventure was the diverse tone in the kiddie ride. Some felt it was too scary for small children, especially those in the many scenes. They're the dark and used jump scares. The sight of screaming and crying children exiting the ride was not uncommon. But Snow White often had some of the shortest lines at Fantasyland. But for adults, it was primarily a part of the ride's charm. It felt oddly incourageous, in the lighthearted world of fantasy. And Q had a dungeon scene and an apple that, when touched, cackled ominously. And the most abrupt ending of any ride at the park, the evil queen falling to her death with a scream followed by immediately after the doors swinging open the ride's exit row. The new ride includes a more comprehensive storyline, as said, but that's also the problem. The grand finale of the show, the Enchanted Wish, is the moment that everybody always talks about if you watch the movie, is when Prince finds Snow White asleep under the evil queen's spell and gives her true love's kiss. A kiss that he gives her to release her from the enchantment. Everybody is in an uproar because she didn't give consent. Yes, she didn't give consent. This is why everybody is upset and they want it removed from the ride. This movie has been a staple. The story has been a staple. That she received a kiss from Prince Charming to wake her up and pull her out of the situation or the enchantment that she was in. But apparently it was teaching that kids that kissing, when it hasn't been established by both parties, that it is not okay. Because she was not awake to consent, the kiss that she was receiving to wake her up, it was not okay. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not condoning that out in the real world. I'm not saying you just go up and start sticking your tongue in people's mouths, whether they're awake or not. The fact of the matter is this is a children's story that, again, the original ride was back from 1955. The movie was back from the 30s. We're back in 2021. Like, you know what? I don't understand what the issue is. Like, can't we just leave well enough alone? Like, why? What is the deal? Like, it's ridiculous. You know, and that's what it comes down to, Rick. Like, why aren't we taking the time? That's where you do it as a parent. Like, it's a story. This isn't real life. This isn't something that takes place every single day. You know, the fact of the matter is that she put her under. So you mean that? So why aren't we going back and technically saying that the witch roofied her? Like, where's the issue there? Why are we always canceling one thing but not everything? If we're going to continue to cancel it, like, why are we doing it half-assed per se? You know, exactly. She was basically dead, Bella, and he saved her life. You know, and tell the Karens and the mini Karens to calm down, of course. And that's where it comes in that, you know, why? I mean, and even recently, not just this, like, we're having issues with Warner Brothers. So recently, we know there's been the release of the new, not the movie yet, but the trailer for the new Space Jam starring LeBron James. I know not everybody's a LeBron James fan. I'll probably watch it. I still watch the original Space Jam today. I don't think any of these people have seen the Casting Couch series. Hey, BRCC is a staple of my childhood. BRCC. That leather couch has been through the ringer. But anyways, to continue the story with Warner Brothers, so there was the big uproar of canceling Pepe Le Pew. Now, don't get me wrong. Pepe Le Pew was a implied creepy character. He was very sought out after I don't even know if the female skunk had a name. Not that I can remember. If anybody knows, please go ahead and put it in the chat. But he was very sought after. He would, like, go above and beyond. He was very, I don't want to know how to use the word if I can or not. But he was very overzealous. He was very overly implied, like he was going above and beyond. He was pressing himself up against her, you know, basically trying to take advantage of. And it was, you know, it is deemed inappropriate. But at the same time, my parents took the time to tell me, like, you don't do that. You don't. And Rich, that's exactly what I'm saying. I understand why he got canceled. He didn't understand the word of no. He didn't agree to it, didn't follow through, none of that. But so they completely removed him with my Space Jam part from the movie Space Jam. He was in the original. They removed him from this one. But you removed one part that's an issue, that can be considered an issue, but you didn't remove another part. And I don't have the video right now, but if you guys go back, if you have a chance, YouTube the Space Jam trailer. And if you go ahead and sit down and watch it, yeah, they've removed Pepe Le Pew from the entire movie. But if you watch it, there's a lot of other non-cartoon characters that are in this trailer. There's the Iron Giant. They've got people from amongst other movies. But the one that stands out the most, especially to me, that is an issue and makes it very contradicting that you removed Pepe Le Pew, was the entire gang from Clockwork Orange is still in the movie. Yeah, it's just in the trailer. They'll probably end up removing it from the movie now that it's been an uproar. But you still have them who were a group of men who went around and sexually assaulted people. But you remove Pepe Le Pew because you didn't comply with no. It's very contradictory to me. And that's the thing I don't understand, because if it's good for one, it should be good for the gander, shouldn't it? I mean, I know it's an old saying, and I'm dating myself by saying that, but like, why? Why wouldn't we remove all issues that could be an issue? Clockwork Orange is still a read in school. It's not in any of the school that I've taught in. It might be in your school, but not in any school that I ever went to. So, I mean, Of Mice of Men, that was the guarantee we had to read. And then what was the other one? That was by Harper Lee. That was a main staple. And Atticus Finch. I'm trying to think of the name of it. Yeah. So it's one of those things that it's unfortunate that To Kill a Mockingbird is the name of the book. Those are the things that we had to read when I was in school. You know, and The Outsiders, that was a good book. I love The Outsiders. I remember that vividly. Yep, Bree, appreciate it. To Kill a Mockingbird. Outsiders was good too. You know, but the thing is, I'm not a reader. I'm more of a visual person. So when it comes down to cinematic adventures, I'm down for that. But you give me a book, if it's on tape, I'll read it. But I mean, I used to read Playboy for the articles, just like I go to Hooters for the wings. So, but yeah, it's just, I don't understand the whole cancel culture thing. I mean, like, I got the dude, and this is another thing I brought up. So for those who don't know, not too long ago, if you ever want to follow me, on TikTok or Instagram at that.nacho, I made a video, and it was a Stitch video of I want to say, well-known content creator on TikTok named Notorious Cree, and he is of indigenous descent. Well, he did a transition video, and where he transitioned into native dance garb. And at one point, I cut the video to myself looking at a phone, and then it shows the weather report, shows it's going to rain. I look up and I just say, damn, or there goes my plans. Video did amazing. Got a lot of views, got a lot of comments, a lot of, not stitches because you can't stitch a stitch, but a lot of duets, stuff like that. And you know what? But that's the thing, Pipes. And I can agree with you on that. It may not have been appropriate. And I'm not saying that it was, but I never had any ill intent. And I understand that. So this is where my issue falls now. Because, and I even brought this to you, and you agreed with me at a time where he then made another video stating X, Y, and Z. Just because you have just this much indigenous blood in you doesn't make you any less indigenous than me. Just because you have this amount of indigenous in you doesn't make you, just because you don't actually know doesn't make you any less indigenous than me, blah, 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 blah. Well, now after you basically sent your 2 million followers after me, you make this video. And it's like, you're now saying that it was okay. Like, I mean, and you're not blatantly coming out and saying it, but it's kind of contradictory in my eye. And again, yes, Pipes, I agree. Two wrongs don't make a right. Neither do two lefts. But at the same time, I'm just saying, like, own your shit. You want me to own my shit? I did. I apologized to him. I took down the video. I'm still getting hate messages to this day. I'm still getting death threats to this day. It is what it is. I welcome them. That is too. And that's another thing. And that's something. And I guess, we can trail off onto that. There's some bigger creators that are out there that seem to really have a chip on their shoulder as of late. And I get the idea that we don't owe anybody anything as creators. Like, heaven forbid, like, I would love to be making money off of this. It's unfortunate. The most unfortunate part about this is that I don't ever really get the ability to. I really think that some of my best TikTok work gets shadowed because of TikTok. There are some videos that I want to say I pour my heart and soul into, but I think that are quality comedic videos that go absolutely nowhere because I'm not, uh, funny to the one person who happens to be behind the screen at TikTok that's just sending my shit through the FYP. Yeah. Anyways, yeah. So, and I'm not pointing fingers. I'm not saying I agree. I'm not saying I disagree with that, but it's obvious with certain creators of who've got a chip on their shoulder. And at the same time, no, you don't owe us anything, but at the same time, you don't have to like blatantly point it out. I guess like I'm not asking for you to wipe my tears, and I don't have an issue with it. I know he's got issues going on with other creators. I know he's got some issues going on with specific creators that I follow, and I'm just kind of just sitting back, eating my popcorn, enjoying the shit show because that's really kind of what it is at this point. Like, and they're just at each other's throats, and they're kind of, going at it, and it's kind of funny. And I can't say that I'm innocent in the fact that I've never gone back and forth with people, but I'm usually pretty good at it that I shut them up and they block me because I hurt their feelings. But it is what it is because I'm pretty good at talking shit. But I'm really creative at it. That's what it is. But the fact of the matter is it's just I just don't get like they're significant others are involved, and it's just like this is just like too much. Like, don't get me wrong. And Vela, you made a video the other day that pointed this out that when did we come back to high school? And the thing is, I don't think we've ever really left high school. The one of the things is people love to try and bring other people down, and they always want to know what they can do to be better than the next person. They never want to help support. They never want to help uplift. And I mean, yeah, I get some of these people's platforms are about uplifting one another, are about, helping one another. Some of my closest people that I've ever talked to in my entire life, I've met through this stupid high school based app. And I think that the app itself is still high school based because at the same example, and I'll get into this when I start going into my little, spiel about myself and where I'm at and who I am. My kids at school, they know me as the teacher who knows TikTok. Like, I know all the songs. I know all the dances. I haven't really done any of the dances, but they laugh at me when I do it. Like, and they themselves will start singing the inappropriate songs, and I'll be like, cut that shit. Like, I'm not listening to that. That's hilarious pipes right there. That they can go after each other and then I'll walk out and throw glitter. Yes, that would be hilarious. But it's one of those things where it's just like my group of people that I converse with and I keep very much in touch with on a day-to-day basis and talk to, and I run ideas through. Like, they even told me, some of them tell me like, hey, that's not a good idea, or hey, maybe you want to revamp this. Hey, you might catch shit for this. And sometimes I go against my better judgment, being them telling me that I probably shouldn't do this, and I still do it anyways. And guess what? That's when it falls on me. It doesn't fall on them. Well, they always show up. They always show up, Rick. They always show up. But one of those things that I do listen for the most part. For the most part, I listen. I don't play the I didn't hear you game. I mean, sometimes y'all tell me, and I choose not to listen, but I listen for the most part, and I'm willing to admit that. Again, I shall own my shit. But so I was thinking, after we can stop talking about this cancel culture and everybody hating on one another bullshit and things like that, I want to do a giveaway. I am thinking I do have a brand new Google Home that I'd like to give away to somebody. I'm also going to add in some Nacho Avg podcast swag. Nothing crazy, just a few little things here and there. But I think the catch is going to be, in order to be qualified for this giveaway, and I'm going to have a entry form in my link in bio for you guys to fill out if you guys want to be a part of it, is you need to be subscribed. You need to show me evidence that you're subscribed, because at times, unfortunately, if your YouTube page or your YouTube account is private, it won't tell me that you're subscribed. Only people who have public accounts show me that they're subscribed. So there's that. And then I need to hit 100 subscribers. So as soon as I hit 100 subscribers, I know before I checked the show today, before we even went live, I was at 11 subscribers. I didn't think I was going to have 2 before the show started. So thank you for those who have already hit the subscribe button. I greatly appreciate that. That means a tremendous amount to me. Yeah, Pipes. I didn't realize that as well. I did not realize that you could have be a private thing. But yeah, so I didn't, like I said, I didn't think I was going to have that many. It only told me about 2 or 3 names under my most recent subscribers. But apparently I have 11 subscribers at that point. I don't know what I got now, but that's neither here nor there. But I think once I hit 100 subscribers, I'm going to give away this Google Home. We will do something on screen live. So we will find out the winner there, and we'll go from there. So we'll do a Google Home Nacho Avg podcast swag giveaway once I hit 100 subscribers. So make sure everybody do me a favor, go subscribe, share the channel, give it to friends, family, your dog. I mean, I'm just saying, like, dogs like YouTube too. They like to scope out other dogs. Awesome. 14. That's definitely more than I would have thought. So we are over 10% there to 100. So once we get there, I will do the giveaway. No offense, Vela. I hope it's not you that you win, because I don't want to pay international shipping, but I will. It wouldn't be the first time, even though the border's closed and it would be easier just for me to like walk it to the Detroit River and like throw it to you. I will pay that international shipping for you and you alone. That's it. But so yeah, that's my idea. So we're going to do a video, a giveaway at 100 subscribers. I have 2 YouTube accounts. I have multiple YouTube accounts, but this is the one. I just need you to subscribe to this channel, just this channel. So, but this brings me into my final synopsis, or my menu item for the night is the Guac being extra, the title of the show, episode 1. I want you guys to get to know me a little bit. With those who are here, feel free to ask me questions. I will answer them to the best of my ability. But I will go ahead and give you guys a little bit of a backstory about me, who I am, where I come from, where I've been, where I want to go. And, like I said, if you got any questions, feel free to ask. But as of right now, I'm still not going to give out my real name. For those who know my real name, feel very lucky. My name is Nacho. I earned that nickname when I originally started TikTok, which will be 1 year ago. I started making content on May 17th, 2021. That link will be up after the show, Rick. I got you. I forgot to load it. It was the one thing I forgot to do before the show started. So the Guac is extra, but it's always worth it. It's depending on how much you want to pay. But that's the end of the day. Like, so the Guac is extra. It's always worth it. And I'll get to why I've said that. Again, that's another Piper anecdote that I kind of stole. But Red still doesn't know. Anyways, yeah, Red still doesn't know my real name. And I've told him 100 times, but it is what it is. So anyways, I started out on this app. I mean, I had it downloaded since March because that's when we went into quarantine. And literally I would wake up every morning to work from home, scrolling through the news, watching the news live while I was sitting there. Well, yeah, I may be jacking all your phrases, but at least I'm not jacking you off. And then, because then that's just a whole nother story. It's like 800 letters long, give or take, you know. So I started out on this app. I decided to go with the name or the handle of Nacho Avg Dad. And I mean, because I don't think I'm your average father. Like, I have my son, and I try to be the best dad possible. But I'm a loud, obnoxious ass. I say a lot of things I probably shouldn't say in front of my child. But it is what it is. I do what I do, and nobody's going to change me. I'm one of those things that take me as I am or get fucked. So that happened, and then I would sit there and I would watch videos, and I would scroll and I would watch videos, and I'd scroll and I'd watch videos, scroll and watch videos, and then all of a sudden one day I was like, I can redo that. That's really easy. I can redo that, and it was May 17th, 2020 that I started making content. As of 2 days ago, well, actually, as of this morning, I finally have broke 30,000 followers on TikTok. So I'm at 30.1, I believe, which was a mini goal that I kind of set for myself before I started this podcast, was to make sure I hit 30,000 followers. I'm still trying to meet the upper echelon that Red Rich had at one point of, almost 500,000. But I know it's going to take time. I'm just going to continue making content. I just can't keep getting butthurt over the content that I make that goes nowhere. I just got to have fun with it and let it be. But the reason I was working at home was because, for those who don't know, I am a middle school science teacher. I work for a district here in the Metro Detroit area, and I work at a middle school that is for students that are over age and behind. So we're an alternative middle school. And when I say alternative, it's not negative behavior. But I have had my experience with some negative behavior kids, which is super unfortunate. And it's one of the reasons I am now a teacher, because being a teacher was the one thing that I wanted to always be. When I graduated high school, I originally went to school to be a high school social studies teacher. And I had a professor by the name of Don Walker, who was a complete dickhole. And he made me lose my love for social studies. Like, I loved history. I loved social studies. I loved geography. Everything about social studies, I loved it. And it was also my teacher that I was in high school, Mr. Dave Kulo, who led me down that path of why I wanted to be a high school teacher, high school social studies teacher. One thing led to another. I ended up in computer science. I thought I was going to become like a tech guru or a computer programmer, and literally did that for 2 more years. So now I'm in my 4th year, and it was just nowhere I wanted to be. I had a math class that I didn't fucking understand. It was called discrete mathematics, and I couldn't figure out what the fucking secret was. And I had a professor there. And again, I'm not trying to sit here and point fingers, but his name was Marcus Darden, and he would never fucking return an email to save my life, to a point that asshole deleted my emails the day before I graduated in my 5th year, proving that he never opened a fucking email that I ever sent him. But anyways, after going into my 5th year, I decided to change over to criminal justice. So in my 5th year, I was taking it was discrete mathematics. I'm assuming you might know what it is, Callie, but I couldn't figure out what the fucking secret was. It was just that discrete. I mean, nobody wanted to let me in on the secret, I guess. I mean, but so I ended up going into criminal justice. And when I was in college, I was a resident advisor. I was also in a fraternity. but I was very, very close with the head of campus police, being as I was an RA. And he was also the head of the criminal justice department. So I went down into his office one day and I said, listen, I want to come into your program, but I need to graduate by the end of the year. I said, either I'm going home with a degree or I'm not, and I'm going to catch hell if I don't. So what can I do? So we sat down and we looked at the schedule for all the prereqs that came through in criminal justice, all the advanced classes that came through in criminal justice. And they all lined up to a point that none of them overlapped, that I was able to take all of them at the same exact time. So I was able to take the prereqs and advanced classes at the same exact time, which was awesome because most of them covered the same exact shit at the same exact time. Now, don't get me wrong. I've been told that, like, when it comes to writing papers and shit like that, I am terrible at it. And I am not afraid to admit that I'm terrible at it. But the fact of the matter is, I did my best and I graduated on the dean's list. Yes, I was a cheerleader. I don't know who you are, but you know something about me. I was a cheerleader. That's another thing that I was when I was in college. So one thing I did when I went to college, I was originally to play college football. And I ended up fucking up my knee pretty bad at that point, which I was offered a small scholarship to cheerlead, and I took it. And I was a cheerleader for my last 3 years of college. So needless to say, I was one of the girls. But yeah, anyway, so I went back and I went through all these, prereq and advanced classes, got my degree in criminal justice, graduated in 2008. For a couple of years after that, I struggled with getting a job. I worked retail, I worked security, just trying to do something where I could apply my degree, where I was working loss prevention, stuff like that, which I loved loss prevention. Oh, loss prevention was a fucking blast. The blast is just, I couldn't, describe it any better than being a blast. But loss prevention was amazing. And then I ended up getting a job at the only maximum security juvenile correctional facility in Detroit in about 2011. And where I was dealing with kids who were locked up for anything with charges from as small as incorrigibility, which is, for those who don't know, like basically not listening to mom or dad and following directives and stuff like that, all the way to multi-murders. And dealing with kids like that, I did that for many, many years, and I was really fucking good at it. Like, my ability to de-escalate situations verbally, my ability to talk to people, my ability to talk shit, like, it all came from working with these kids. And, for the longest time I worked there, worked 16-hour shifts working with these kids. And it was just to a point where it got very discouraging because I was raising a lot of these kids. So I would get kids that would come in when they were 11 or 12. And then even to a point when I left, they were 18, 19, still in and out of the juvenile system, but never really going anywhere with their lives. And, when I left originally because there were some political issues going on within the facility, which was unfortunate, but, that's, it happens with, any type of job you could possibly run into. So, a lot of the times, Rick, I was told that about a lot of these kids, that I was more of a father figure than that they had at home. Because at the same time, a lot of these kids, one of the reasons that they're always into trouble is because that there is no parental at home. The parental's at work, or the parental's out doing something else other than, providing, they're trying to provide for the family, and they themselves are taking care of the kids. And I'm running into that issue a lot now with these kids trying to make it to school, the ones who are trying to be face to face. And well, that's another thing. These kids that are still virtual, these parents are taking advantage of the kids being at home and having them do chores and having them do things, during the hours in which they should be paying attention during school. It's super, super unfortunate because they're not there for manual labor. They're there to get an education. I can't even get these kids to turn on their camera. I can't even get these kids to respond verbally. I can't even get them to respond in the chat. Most of these kids that they'll log on, they walk away. Like, I get that when you're in college, like I've done it myself, but I'm paying out of my pocket. Like, you guys aren't even through this. A lot of my kids, unfortunately, they read on 2nd and 3rd grade levels. They perform math on 1st grade levels. I mean, some of these kids don't even know how to tie their own damn shoes. And it's so unfortunate. And that's why one of the reasons I left was because I wanted to make a difference in these kids' lives before they got locked up. And one of the things and right after I started at the schools, there was a situation where there was a kid that I basically raised from the point that he was 11 to 18 while he was in the facility. I can take it too personally with the older ones, they become disrespectful. That's why I want to stay in lower elementary. I commend you for real. Bree, I will tell you, I am definitely the outside the box person. So I have a TikTok that I made. It's a stitch. It goes back. And it's simple enough where it's a kid who throws a water bottle at another kid. And I instantaneously, it cuts to me taking a coffee cup and throwing it back at the kid, off screen, and basically telling him I'm going to fuck his mom. Do I talk to my students that way? No. To an extent, yeah, but I use a lot more creative language to get around from cursing at them. And, but that's the thing, is a lot of these kids, that's the only way that you can get them to click, to understand what you are saying, is because that's how they're talked to at home. And it's unfortunate that I have to go that point to get them to get that wake up call, oh shit, he means something. I'll tell you right now, I just literally got a new student the other day, and I was reading his behavior analysis, where he has he's ODD, so he's oppositional defiant disorder. He cannot stand anybody of authority. He does not take direction well. And I mean, these are the type of kids that I love working with, because those are the kids that get sent to our school or end up getting locked up that nobody else can handle and nobody else can deal with. But for some ungodly reason, I have this ability to be like a horse whisperer and be like, listen, just do this. Listen, I need you to do this. And it's all about my implication. It's all about the way that I get them to do it, is because I make it sound like it's beneficial for them. Even if it's not beneficial at all for them, I make it sound so that it's all about them. So that way they're getting something out of it, that they are going to be the one that is the one that's winning in the end. So no, it's not easy. It's not easy at all. And like I said, this kid the other day, I just straight up told him, I said, listen, if you do what I ask or anything I tell you to do in this classroom, I promise you, you'll pass. I promise you, you'll pass. You'll get an A. I guarantee it. All of a sudden, he came back. He started last Thursday. He had Thursday, Friday were both rough days. He came in Monday. Has been here the last 3 days. And he's been my, as I would like to say, soldier. He's been my one. He's telling all the other kids in the classroom to be quiet. He's telling all the other kids to do X, Y, and Z. He's sitting here. He's cleaning up. He's sitting here, Mr. Wolf, what can I do for you? The kids call me Mr. Wolf, because none of them know that I actually have TikTok. But yeah, so that's how it goes. But I mean, and that's one of the things what it was when I was working inside the jail, was when you're running a unit, and I run my classroom like I run one of the jail unit. Everybody, when we move for a reason. When we're talking for a reason. Is there free movement? Yeah, I usually give a little bit of free movement, but based upon how you act. But if you're acting like a fool, your ass is going to be in your seat. Everything's got to be earned. I don't have rules. I don't have regulations. I don't have, things like that. I have expectations. I expect you to be doing your work. All right, brother. I appreciate you. Thanks for the support. Take it easy, and see you again. But the idea is the fact of the matter is, again, I have these expectations. And if you don't follow the expectations, there will be things that come with it. And that's one of the things when it comes to, parenting that a lot of parents don't do. And I'm not saying that I am the best parent in the world. Don't get me wrong. I have my flaws. I am far from perfect, but I try my best. But that's one of the things I try and do with my son. I try to set expectations, and I tell him, like, if you don't do this, this will happen. And then you have to follow through with it. And that's what it comes down to. A lot of these kids don't have that at home. Children yearn for structure. I am a creature of structure. If I don't have things that are like laid out for me, I have to lay them out myself. You can tell me to do things, but if you ask me to do something and I'm free at the moment, yeah, I'll do it. But if you start giving me another thing to do on top of that thing you wanted me to do originally, and I still haven't finished it yet, like, it's not going to work. My brain can't compute that. I am a child of structure. So there's things that I have to do. They have to be done in a certain order. They have to be done a certain way. Yeah, a lot of I'm sure I am undiagnosed ADHD. I can guarantee that. Most of my life is complete chaos going on around me, and shiny objects going on, and I'm all over the place. I can tell you, I can go start one thing, and then 2 seconds later, something else catch my eye. I'll go start working on that, and next thing you know, I come back to the original thing, and it's like, oh shit, I should have finished that. It's one of those things where it's just, I got to do better, and I know I can be, but it's one of those things where I know I have faults, and I'm not perfect, but I'm going to do my best to be my best by the things that I know. But yeah, so I worked at the jail. I left there. I became an attendance agent, where basically I was, at the school before I became the teacher, where I'm sitting here basically running through truancy situations, getting these kids. See, Bree, at least you understand. A lot of people don't understand that. Pipes, I think they might have a pill for that. Like, you could probably get that fixed. I'm not sure if you got the words mixed up, if it was supposed to be bitch boss, not boss bitch, but I'm sure if you seek medical attention, it can be fixed. But the idea is, so I was doing attendance. Like right now, see, I just trailed off. Like, my brain just doesn't compute and know when to stay in place. But anyways, I was working attendance, and that's one of the biggest issues we have in my district is attendance and getting these kids to sign up. And right now with virtual, it's even 1,000 times worse because there's been no structure. And again, I came back to what I just said. These kids yearn for structure, and there has been zero structure this entire school year. And then these kids are the ones that are the victims of it. This is the reason that these kids are so far behind. My district has revamped the grading system. We just caught word today that if your child didn't get a certain grade point average, that the parent is going to have to sit down and talk with each individual teachers and whether the child needs to be held back or not, X, Y, and Z. It's one of those things where again, these kids are losing out. They're the victims. They're the ones who aren't going to be able to, I'm not going to say they're not going to succeed, but they are going to have a very, very hard road, and they could have been done better by. I mean, myself as a teacher, I'm trying my best left and right, day to day, to get these kids who are coming to the school. Because technically right now, our school is 100% virtual. We have learning centers open where the kids can come and basically get guaranteed, internet service to connect to the staff. But a lot of my school, I think all but 2 teachers have come back so that we can teach the kids face to face. And the ones who are coming on a regular basis, day to day, face to face, they're succeeding right now. They are doing their work. They are able to ask questions. They're not afraid to ask questions, because a lot of these kids, they won't turn on their cameras because they don't want you to see what their house looks like, because it's usually not a good sight. They don't turn on their mics because they're usually somebody's getting yelled at or hollered at or cussed at in the background. They don't want to answer because with the fear of being wrong or somebody being, just being disrespectful and stuff like that. And they're ashamed of where they come from. And it's a shame that that has to happen to children that are so young that shouldn't even have to deal with this type of shit. So, but which brings me to, like I said, I was doing attendance. It's one of our biggest issues in the district, but the issue is so bad that, and now with COVID and the courts being so far behind, and they're even farther behind now than they were originally. Like these kids, if I were to still be doing the attendance piece and turn in a sanction to take this family to court, and say the child's in the 8th grade, it may not actually end up in the courtroom in front of the judge with a set date until they're a junior in high school. At which point, like, what's the difference? The kid just went through a whole nother 2 years of school, who probably didn't show up half the time because it's a learned behavior and nobody held them accountable. It's super duper unfortunate. And it's the family dynamic piece and the parental buy-in in my district. And I know it's this way across the board, across the country, across my state here in Michigan, that a lot of parental buy-in, especially since the pandemic began, has just gone through the fucking floor. And I'm not saying that anybody in here who has kids who, I know you guys are doing what you need to do. Everybody does their own thing. Everybody has shit come up in their lives. Everybody has something that goes on that, is going to make it difficult, but I know there's a lot of people out here who do a lot. They still go above and beyond due to the situation at hand. And I still know that there are people out here that don't do a fucking thing, and your kid is the one that's suffering. And it's super duper unfortunate. But that is, a little bit about me. Again, guys, if you ever have any questions, don't hesitate to ask me. I'm an open book. But at this time, you know what? I'm going to call it a night. I think tonight's show went really well. The few hiccups that I had are okay. I can't hold it against myself. I'm learning. It's like I said, it's like the first time with a chick. You got to learn her buttons, got to learn where to touch, got to learn where to kiss. Well, I'm not kissing the screen, but you know what I'm saying. It's gonna take a minute before it becomes flawless, and even then it still won't be flawless. So, but I greatly appreciate everybody and your guys' participation and being here in my audience tonight. It means the world to me. Thank you again for coming. And with that in mind, I will bid you guys adieu, and stay healthy, stay safe, stay out of trouble. The guac is extra, but always worth it. Peace.